This is the Clockwork Orange, Ibiza Clockumentary 2017 part dos. There you go.
Back to the 90s.
Back to the madness. So Friday at Sankey's, it's like 11:30, quarter to 12, everybody's turning up, it's all fun, it's all happening, people inside the club, there's a queue.
It got to around 12:15, 12:30 or so, and well, the power just went out in the whole club. It was shocking. I couldn't believe it. No one could believe it there.
The whole street, the whole block, not just the club, everywhere. What is happening? Sand in an egg glass, like that, my life. 52 weeks in the year, that one night has to go off on our night. I'm just sitting there going, what's going on? People are saying, what's happening, what's going on? And I'm like, just go down there into the bar, it's gonna come, how long is it gonna be? How long is a bit of string? We're trying to make it happen, blah, blah, blah.
I was just ready to go down with the ship. I was gonna stay all night long until I didn't lose faith. I really believed it was gonna happen.
Half hour later, this guy comes Clockwork. I'm gonna say his name, because I now think of him as the Messiah. Although most of the time I see him, he's like that. And he came to the door. He said, what's going on, Dan? And I went, got a Powercut, mate. I said, but at this moment in time, I need some help. I said, if you help me, I said, I'll give you a free guest list for life. Oh, he says, what do you want me to do? I said, I need you to pray for the power to come back on. Okay, so he closed his eyes. Like that, he went. Put his hands together. He went like that, he went, I've just had a pray up. Boom, power come on.
And you know what? The power came back on. It was just amazing. At my set time, it came back on.
Look, even talking about it, it's giving me goosebumps. And he went, where's me free tickets? I went, there's your fucking free tickets, cheers, mate.
Within 5 minutes, it started to, it filled. It was coming, the people coming back in. They were piling, and I felt they were coming out of the wall.
Power come on, everybody starts all down the road, everybody's going, yeah. I went, come on, come on. And all these droves of people, the loyal Orange Army, came back up to the club went off, and it was an amazing and wicked night, all because of this guy.
To see that in person was just an amazing experience and a real testimony to how dedicated the Clockwork family is. I mean, they waited it out, and the party was even better after. They came back even stronger. And that party, after 10 minutes of getting back on, that room was packed wall to wall. And it was really one of the most memorable experiences I've ever had.
This is the Clockwork Orange, Ibiza Clockumentary part dos.
That sounds poo. That's poo.
Well, we first came across a young Danny Gould and Andy Manston in the early 90s, wasn't it? One of the springs of joy.
But yeah, there's a lot of enthusiasm. They had a little, they cornered the sort of market. I mean, Clockwork at the time was sort of unique-ish in its approach to putting dudes on. And Clockwork Orange had a certain something to the island. It brought something special.
I was just saying, should have said quad then. I thought you should do something.
When you say Chinese quad in English,
I just say it in English.
the bollocks.
There's stories from the 90s that, you know, this video ain't long enough. That you could just tell. The stories that we tell now to people that we don't know when I go to work, in clubs, whatever, and they just don't believe you. Because that's what the 90s are all about.
There used to be the Clockwork Villa, which was chaotic, anarchic, and incredibly annoying in equal measures. Great if you wanted to have a party, not so good if you wanted to have a bit of shut-eye. But I guess that was the culture of bringing DJs over in those kind of early days of British-based club promotions here in Ibiza.
There's nothing incriminating anyway. We've cut that out.
In '98, we couldn't find anyone to live at the start of the season. Danny and Andy kindly offered their villa for us for a few days. Well, for as long as we wanted, really. But however crazy Manumission was, it was nothing compared to how the Clockwork Villa was. So I think we maybe lasted 2 or 3 days, in which time we'd attempted to bomb a rat out of the kitchen. Dan had been parading around naked. We'd had games of Scrabble after 2 days of being up. We'd force people out with megaphones pretending to be the Guardia Civil. There came a point where we just had to say, thanks boys, but we can't do this anymore. Bye.
At the Clockwork Villa, which I refused to stay at because I like my hearing, he used to throw bangers in the shower. Whenever anyone got in the shower, he'd try and explode them.
And he pissed into a pint glass. And we were like, all kind of like, oh right, okay. He's the one who's in the right here and we're the one that's in the wrong. We're just sitting watching television.
Well, Clockwork Orange in the 90s, it was pretty much my favourite club. It was the most messy club. I remember they used to do those. I remember Danny had a tray of drinks once and they had like 20 Chapitos on it or something, and somebody just went like that. The whole thing went over him, and then he just went and got 20 more, and then the same thing happened again.
Es Paradis was really, really successful, absolutely rammed, great atmosphere. The DJs at the time, myself included, kind of made their names, if you like, in there. One of the definite skeletons in my closet was the fact that I went through a period in the mid-90s of playing the trumpet while I was DJing. Now, I would give myself at best a 5 out of 10 as a trumpet player. I wasn't completely unable to play it, but a 5 out of 10 trumpet player really isn't kind of what you want when you're kind of just coming up in the club, listening to great tunes, and you've got this fella struggling to play certain notes.
One thing about the 90s is that in them days, you know, you go around all the shops, or Kensington, Covent Garden and places like that, and you put the flyers in the shops, spend all day doing it. Now you've got Facebook, it's an instant thing, you know, it's an instant thing. Is that community of like people on Clockwork, the Orange Army, you know, you put something on Facebook, they know about it instantly. You know, I'd go to all the clubs as well, like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning and give all the flyers out outside the clubs.
Yeah, right, mate. You was in the fucking clubs.
Oh, Danny used to be really, really crazy. Many girls around, always jumping, always drinking. And now I see him so relaxed, so calm, don't drink alcohol, don't do anything. It's unbelievable. But I think in life we have our crazy times and our relaxed time. And now he was a superstar before, and now like a person, he's a real star for me. He have an aura now, you know, after to be so crazy, many crazy nights in Es Paradis and in Mambo, when I see him, don't drink and so calm, oh, he's unbelievable.
Every now and again, if you went to the Clockwork Orange Villa where they all stayed, every now and again there was this element of paranoia where they've overdone everything, right? They don't want to leave their house. You go in there and Mankey will be in a cupboard where he's locked himself in some cupboard under the sink or something. Goldie will be pacing about and every night. He wore the carpet out basically where he used to be going round and round. And it was a madhouse, wasn't it? An absolute madhouse, like you can't believe.
We discovered a rat living in the oven in the Clockwork, and it was like, well, how do we get it out? So we had these really strong kind of Spanish fireworks, and we threw it in the rat must have been completely disorientated, threw it in the oven, it came scampering out, people were trying to hit it, everybody missed it, it made its dash for freedom and off it trotted. Never to return, never to return.
I think one key thing that we do miss from the Clockwork Boys is Andy Munson's dancing. I don't know if he's got too old now, I don't know if he's past his sell-by date, but we don't see the old Mankey stomp anymore, do we, Mankey? Do you remember his stomp? And like Uncle Fester, didn't he, doing the Running Man? Goldie never really danced, did he? Goldie can't dance.
Goldie can't dance. Goldie can't dance.
Goldie can't dance. Thinks he's cool, can't dance. Not like us, we're dancers, man.
And now they're back on the island and I'm still here. I actually say to them, like, you know, why did you leave me all them years ago? Because like, it seems like everyone's gone now and come back all of a sudden. And yeah, and it's brought a really good, fresh, like, part back to the island. It's made it feel fresh again with the antics and the music and the DJs and just the people who go to Clockwork from the old days still coming out, and then all the new people go to Clockwork as well, and that mixture gives it a really good vibe.
coldest ravens on the islands.
Good. Love it. Anything else you want to add?
I always remember Clockwork because it was possibly the first pre-party. And in the beginning, you know, when I open Mambo, I need help. And that is why I like so much Danny and Andy, because they help me. They bring the happiness to the bar, the craziness, and that was fantastic. For some years, 6, 7 years, possibly more, 8 years, they was the best promoters in Ibiza.
In 1989, May, I came to Ibiza as a 17-year-old. The doors of the plane opened on the runway for us to get out, and as I walked to the top of the stairs, I could smell aviation fuel and pine. And something went off in my mind then, 17 years of age. Don't know what it was. Got taken to the hotel, put our stuff in the room. My friends went to the pool, but I went to the beach on my own. On the beach there was 2 groups of girls, 6 or 8 or 10, I can't tell you, and I fell in love. I fell in love with Ibiza, I fell in love with the smell of pine, I fell in love with the girls playing volleyball, the sand, the sun, the sea, the whole lot. That's before even I discovered clubs. Why do I tell you this? Is that spot in that sand where I fell in love with Ibiza and the magic starting to happen is exactly where we do the beach party now.
I mean, that party Sunday was like, what do I say, man? The closest thing I've ever come to like being in space back in 94 to 98, really. It's just the craziest atmosphere I've ever experienced in my life. It was like watching Brad and Alex like back on the terrace all over again, and it was just like, I stood there, I'm doing it now, look, hairs on my, like, there you go, hairs on my arm coming up with goosebumps. Just the most incredible thing I've ever done ever, and that is it.
The love that was in the air on the Sunday was something I have never seen over here for a long time, and it was a pleasure and an honour to be part of it.
Everyone at Romex loves Clockwork Orange. They love the vibe, they love the people that go there, they can't wait for it. They spend 4 months talking about it coming up, and then they spend 4 months talking about it, what's happened, and then they spend the rest of the year asking if we're going again.
We are clockers.
Yeah.
Orange one.
Clockwork Orange Army, mate.
Clockers are here.
It's lovely to be part of.
We love what you're doing, and everyone else does, so well done.
Keep up the good work, but put our wages up, all right?
This year was another level. This year it was up there. We got there really early this year, and from the moment we got there, it just, you could feel it in the air. It's the music, it's the people that are there, it's the passion, and it's just my way of saying thank you to my team.
In 2014 we came out here and people said, how are you going to beat that weekend? That's the best thing we've been to in 25 years. Come out here in 2015 and we beat 2014. Went up. 2016 we came out here and everyone said, how are you going to beat 2015? How are you going to beat 2014? And we took it up another level. We came out here in 2017 and we just raised the bar again.
This is my drug. Clockwork. It's always been my drug. It always will be my drug.
Give yourselves a fucking round of applause because you have been amazing!
The brain goes blank. Yeah. You motherfucker.
Back to the 90 crazy days.
Sound like Tommy Mac.
The eyes, look at the eyes. Dave Bowie eyes, 2 different colours. Have you seen that before? Tommy Mac's in the house. I love you, Danny. I love you, Andy Manson. Clockwork, Clockwork Irish forever! Tommy Mac! All right, Mark?
Yeah, good.
Thank you, buddy. You're a gentleman, mate. You'll get something out there, won't you?
Yeah. I'm Danny Robinson. 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 Time out. Fuck off.
My love affair with the Clockwork, I can't do it with you two here, you're going to have to fuck off.
1, 2, 3. This is the Clockumentary.
What do you mean 1, 2, 3? We don't even know what we've got to say.
All night long, Terry's, 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 play more Terry's, 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 Terry's.
And one more
Terry's.
The Clockwork Orange 2017 ibiza Clockumentary.
Part DOS. Back to the 90s.